Cheers, mix, click, and code with Boozy browsing, sipping and fixing the web one cocktail at a time.
Do I have to open another beer because I might not be able to stand after the next session if I finish 2 beers?
No, it's I don't drink a lot of cocktails. I either drink wine or really light beer.
Yeah.
So this is why I don't drink cocktails, because it's a silence killer, just like our topic.
Right.
You don't know you're getting drunk. You just get buzzed, because you're sipping it because it's tasty. What traits that you see as a not great leader is the next one that we're wanting to talk about, to kind of identify it.
I think this is a good one. This is a good section because, again, so when I look at these 5 toxic habits that you listed out, so I'll list them out so no one's like, I'm not cheating. So we got overinflated ego. Guess who has that? Insecurity driven control. You have the definitions. I don't feel like I do that.
Yeah.
Micromanaging, I definitely don't do that. Poor or unconfident communication, sometimes. Avoiding accountability, never for me. That's where I hit 3 solid, opposite of the toxic, right? But I'll go into the toxic side 2 times. Most of my things are pretty successful.
You're just humans. You hit one of these sometimes, but not all the time. So as long as you don't do it consistently, I think you're good, because there are times that you just don't realize that you do it and realize oh crap, I did this. I was and then you just readjust it. But if you keep consisting on this, then this is a problem. The overinflated ego.
I think that definition is probably different than ego in general doesn't really matter. But if it's overinflated, your actual skill set doesn't even come close, then that's a problem.
Yeah, that's what it meant. Because sometimes ego can be a healthy thing for you to push people, and it work. If you use it right, it's fine.
Yeah.
But it's overinflated, meaning that you don't deserve it, but have an ego.
Mm-hmm. How do you self-identify that? That's impossible.
You don't know.
Even as I talk about that, I was oh yeah, well, I have the technical skills to back up my ego. It's well, maybe that's just my ego talking.
Yeah. No, but I think this actually goes when you're prematurely promoted. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's just because you got promoted prematurely, think you deserve the role. But in reality, you don't deserve the role yet. You need to make sure that you prove it by making sure that you do the role. Because they got promoted, they just feel like they deserve it, but not yet.
I don't know. I think that allows people to get promoted multiple times sometimes.
Inflated.
The larger organizations, you're getting promoted by maybe non-technical people, right? Mm-hmm. You're in meetings that people were really impressed by what you were saying. They have no idea what your team thinks of you. Obviously, you have a manager, but they don't have control sometimes. That person gets promoted multiple times. I've even been in organizations where people hope they get promoted out of the organization. Global organizations. I hope they go up to corporate, global corporate, just because you can't get them out because too many people like them. I mean, this is a psychology thing, I think, at this point. But the insecurity-driven control, those two go very close together. The people that have real egos don't actually think.
Yeah.
No developer thinks they're really good. My ego, I don't think I'm actually very good. And some people tell me I'm not, but they're my friends. But I also have insecurity. But the more ego, the people that really are driven by ego are also super insecure, typically.
Yeah, I totally get that.
That's a psychology thing that people have shown.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I put it together, because I've seen that coming from your own insecurity. Because you even said it, because everyone has insecurity. Right. But when I see someone who's really out of their ability, they want to hide it with inflated ego.
Yeah.
And it's shown if you keep doing it, but some people might not know because they're just trying to overcompensate it by that.
Yeah. I mean, I read all this before, but I'm just realizing that those two top things. So you got under that, you got micromanaging, poor and unconfident communication, and avoiding accountability. Like it's the same person.
Yeah.
Like the worse they are at that first thing,
Yeah.
they're all these. They're typically all of it,
Right?
Like all together.
Yeah, insecurity kind of drives the micromanaging because why would you need to micromanage when you're confident that the other people can do the job?
And you don't have to show them that you can do better. Like just allow them.
Yeah, because why?
Yeah.
And then also poor unconfident communication. I think this is less shown, I feel like, than other things that I mentioned. Because like I've seen this, but it's kind of like showing in a weird things. Because like these days it's harder to point that out unless you're really trying to give the person direction for them to grow. Because some people get offended by this if you point this out.
I would maybe add to this one support and confident communication, like just bad or in not telling people the things that you're supposed to do, but telling things the wrong way to do it or the wrong recommendations. Because again, you're out of your league. You shouldn't be in your role. So you're telling them information that you've heard from one place, and the context might not be this, and you're now telling everyone in your team they're supposed to do it this way, when that's wrong. It's just absolutely inaccurate communication more than anything. It goes to this, I think.
Yeah, and then I've seen examples, usually a couple places, that the person never does eye contact. Well, they kind of look down when they talk. Instead of mumbling in a way, it's harder to understand because if you talk like this, you can't really hear it if you're in a room of other people. And if you're constantly doing that in a meeting, that looks like your entire team is not confident enough. And that dramatically brings down the trust for the team. And I've seen that. They don't realize it. Unless I'm really close, I can't even bring that out because it can be personality related. I'll just tell that to their people who's actually giving them reviews, or that they need to fix this, if they want to succeed as the leader of this team. Because people can't understand. They have to keep telling the person to speak up or repeat whatever he just said or she just said. If that continues, that sounds like, even though your team might not be competent enough to do the role, but it kind of shows that way.
Yeah, that's a tough one though, because I feel like that's a trait or something that it doesn't make you you're not a bad leader. You're failing at kind of one aspect of how you portray your team, potentially. And
that is a bad leader.
You might be a really good leading the team, and then your upper management skills or your product, telling other people, you're just not there. And I don't know if it can be trained all the time, but that comes with a confidence also. You're not, I feel like you're the opposite of some other things we're talking about, which is okay. But your actual team probably respects you a lot. It's just that you can't communicate that very well. Maybe.
No, I don't. I think it kind of goes hand in hand. I don't know if I agree with that, because if you continue to do that, it's also the leadership. You don't want to make your team look like they're not confident enough to do the thing. So that's your leadership, because you can't, just because you're not confident or you have that personality, you can't make the entire team suffer because of it, because that does happen. Because if you have a very quiet person, I mean, I used to be very quiet and reserved, and I realized that people who are working for me or that I have to oversee are suffering because of that. So I have to get out of it. So that can be trained, and I feel like it's also like repetition and making sure that you also need to think about the people you're overseeing. So they are suffering.
Yeah.
It's I was talking to one of our I think it was a client. He was a lead, but he wasn't a manager role yet. But I remember telling him, if you keep saying yes to everyone who's working for this has to suffer. Because you're saying that you're a nice person, I get it. But that doesn't mean that everyone else has to suffer because of it. Because you need to put the strong stake and saying whatever needs to be so you can't be weak for your team.
Right.
It goes along that way, that you can't be just constantly doing it.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, it is that because that person's team lead, but not quite managed. But that yes or no, if you don't have the manager saying no, also, or they're not in the
Right.
whatever reason they're not in that position, you have to play that, and you have to be able to say no in a way that doesn't say that no, your team can't do it. It's we can't do it now,
Right.
because if you say yes,
Yeah.
and they don't do it,
Yeah.
it's probably going to reflect on your team
Right.
more than you.
Mm-hmm.
I would think that's typically unless they take accountability, which we talked about before, right?
Right.
Like if you take accountability later, that's okay. It kind of recovers a little bit. But if you're that team that can't get the things done because you said yes to 10 things instead of 5,
Right.
regardless of if you would have said yes to 4 and got them all done,
Yeah.
then that's the team that people think are amazing. You got 5 done.
You have to be realistic about it, because the person I was referring to, like, he had a tendency, because he's a hard worker. There's a lot of developers are hard workers. He's one of those people that will work over the weekend to get this thing roll out. You can do it as a developer when you're not overseeing on someone, or you're not representing the entire team, because you choose to do it. But you can't make that promise so that other people has to do it.
Right.
No. Yeah, I've seen that with him when he was stepping up to the next role. You can't do that constantly because they're overworked.
That's really hard as a person that used to appease everyone.
Mm-hmm.
As a developer, I like to finish all the tasks right before I got into a role where I could help pick the tasks. That transition was probably the hardest, of being able to say no, but also not want to do all the things and expect my team to also want to do the same thing that I did. Mm-hmm. When I was just a developer, I was maybe without kids, mm-hmm. or maybe without a spouse at the time, younger in my career. This gets into my history. I pushed that a little too far when I had kids, when I had a family. I still did all the things, mm-hmm. Which is bad. Yeah. But I did all the management things, all the development things, all the everythings, mm-hmm. But that's just how I did things. I didn't expect my team to do it, though. And I didn't do all the yeses so that my team did it. I did the yeses that I would also do. Right. So at least I put that balance in place.
I remember this is a conversation I have with everyone who's getting to their role, because I went through it too. Because I think that role, that when you're just all senior developer lead, you're like the rock star too, going to the management role, it's hard to let go sometimes. Mm-hmm. And it's faster if you do it. But that means that other person's never going to learn how to do it. Yeah. I get these questions all the time, and I remember, I don't know how many times I told this to. I was like, do you think when I told you to do this thing, do you think you believe I
didn't know how?
Yeah. Do you think I thought it would be faster to do it by myself? And you think I thought you would be faster to do it? No, you have to learn it, and you have to let go, and you have to make the next person who you're overseeing to learn how to do it. This is one of those topics that it's very necessary for every team to consider, but it's hard to know, because if you don't know, you really don't know. And you don't know the necessity of it until things start really falling apart. So
I don't know how, you're right there, but why, in this day and age, with all of the ways of learning about team leadership, technical team leadership, even if you're a non-technical manager over a technical team, yeah, we're not that different compared to other teams. I don't know why people allow things like this to happen, and maybe it happens in all teams, and I'm not I don't see it as much, mm-hmm. But I feel like in our level, people are put in positions that make so important decisions, right, that affect an entire team, mm-hmm. And the team goes along with it, and then the upper management, well, they don't know any different, so that's the person that they put in position, so they're going to go with it. Right.
I don't know if it's a cliche or it's too simple to say, but if you don't know, you don't know. Because if you haven't seen the right management, how well it works with the right team, right leadership, if you've never seen the right example, you might not know.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times that when I run into this, I see these issues with the client team. I realize like they never seen the good example. They never seen the team that works really well. But if you know and if you've seen one, you can really pin out all the things that are not right.
Right.
So
You're
that
right.
might be it. Like you just don't know. It's just ignorant. But that's more dangerous sometimes.
Yeah.
But it was one of the hardest things as a consultant or vendor, and you see this so well.
Mhm.
But sometimes it's not my place to bring that up.
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing. Yeah.
So how do we fix this? Because I can think of a way we break it even further.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, it has AI, right?
Yep.
Like these teams that are already dysfunctional,
Mm-hmm.
you throw AI into the mix, and no one's checking. They're not even checking what the people are doing. So why are they going to check what AI is doing? Like that just like implodes very quickly, most likely, because everyone's just allowing things to happen. It's like, well, whatever type of thing. But how do you fix how would you fix it? Like I know my even pre AI,
Mm-hmm.
like unfortunately, people have to be taken out of these positions. There are really good managers, technical leads, like out there that can do the job well, and like you kind of have to make changes.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to let go of the person.
Yeah, or if they're willing to move to something, like if they're just not ready, that's very different than they'll never be ready.
Yeah.
So
Also, give them options if you want to choose to stay in this role or do another thing. Because like sometimes people thought that would be good for this leadership role and then realize that they don't want to. I've seen that too. And then with the right upper management for that person that can bring the person down and like you do whatever you're good at, whatever you're happy at. But it also requires the right upper management to give that option to the person. There was one quote I was going to actually bring up that when you're saying about avoiding the decision making, I just read it this morning. Sam something, the AI guy, the open AI person, yeah, he said that he's not worried about AI rebelling. He's worried about AI becoming so good that we stop thinking for ourselves. Because there was a stat. There's a stat about that's scary because like there's a stat that all these high school people doesn't want to make decision. They'll just ask the AI to make the decision.
mm-hmm.
And I kind of sensed that in a way, like a lot of times when I was like, oh, I don't want to make this, I'm going to ask the AI. But if that continues, that becomes a culture that becomes, especially for the younger generation, if that's thing that they're going to start doing, that might be the scarier thing than like the whole Terminator thing going on.
I don't know. I go with both. We got robots that have AI embedded in them, and you've got people that can't make decisions anymore or
If you
care.
combine both, that's even worse.
That's what I mean. That I think is the real path.
Right.
Like definitely, because it adjusts. Like we talked about this before, and I know we're gonna get long in this one, but you have AI that now like facilitates your like they want to impress you, or they want to like make you feel good about yourself, right?
Mhm.
That's not a normal, like that's a normal human trait. That then the only reason to do that is to make you feel good about yourself so they can move on. They're doing it so that they can move on to the next question and not have to deal with the problem that they already created.
Mm-hmm.
And that keeps going, right?
Yeah.
And you got people that don't care that they answered wrong.
Right.
So either we get to a point where no one cares and they're not providing any good information and it doesn't matter, or yeah, they take over the world.
They're talking about this like before I read this quote, they're talking about all this like high school people and the kids and the middle school kids. And it was like I forgot the percentage. Like, it was a very high percentage of kids are using it, and then they don't want to make decisions. They want the AI to make the decisions.
Oh, there's a high percentage of like 20-year-old, whatever that generation is, that are using it for all of their decisions.
Yeah.
Like everything from like where I'm going to eat to like everything they do they're communicating to AI, and that's helping them make decisions. For better or worse. I mean, I don't know that part, other than if you can't think beyond asking someone else to tell you what to do, that eventually becomes a real problem.
Right. Yeah. And well, to be honest, I don't think I might be wrong, but I don't think it's a problem for our generation because we're used to not having it. But generations.
Well, we grew up on all the AI movies that destroyed everything, so we know that. Like now AI is generating like pieces of movies, but eventually movies, right? They'll eventually create scripts.
They didn't actually name it as AI. It was more like robots and whatever, but it is AI what they represented.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
HAL.
Yeah.
We got HAL.
Oh yeah. Like there was like literally that moment, like, like I can't do that for you, Dave. There's that moment, like it was like prefaced with that. Anyways, but yeah, that was a good conversation.
Stay tuned for the next episode on Monday afternoon.